Here in Washington, a House Oversight Committee investigation into former President Joe Biden is intensifying. Today, another former top White House advisor, Ashley Williams, is expected to appear for a closed-door transcribed interview with committee investigators. Williams served as the Deputy Director of Oval Office Operations during the Biden administration. Her testimony follows that of two other members of the former president's inner circle who have been summoned in recent weeks. The Republican-led probe is examining whether senior aides to the former president covered up evidence of his mental and physical decline. It is also looking into whether any presidential orders were signed using an autopen without Mr. Biden's direct knowledge. Allies of the ex-president have consistently denied any wrongdoing, labeling the investigation a political stunt. However, GOP investigators have pointed to Mr. Biden's difficult debate performance in June of 2024 and subsequent media revelations suggesting there were more concerns within his inner circle about his fitness for office than were publicly known. Williams' scheduled appearance comes just 2 days after the former president's White House physician, Dr. Kevin O'Connor, sat down with the same committee. That interview lasted only about 30 minutes, during which Dr. O'Connor invoked his Fifth Amendment right against self-incrimination for all questions except confirming his name. Committee Chairman James Comer later said, quote, "It's clear there was a conspiracy to cover up President Biden's cognitive decline." Dr. O'Connor's lawyers stated that he took the fifth out of concern that the committee would not honor doctor-patient privilege and would demand he reveal confidential medical information, which would violate his ethical duties as a physician. Meanwhile, the current administration is moving forward with a major legislative and policy agenda. The One Big Beautiful Bill Act, which President Trump signed into law on July 4th, is best known for making the 2017 individual income tax cuts permanent. But the mammoth legislation also includes a host of non-tax policies that will affect Americans in areas from travel to healthcare and immigration. For instance, the new law provides $12.5 billion to the Department of Transportation to begin long overdue reforms to the nation's air traffic control system. That funding includes $4.75 billion to upgrade critical copper telecommunication infrastructure to modern fiber optics, $3 billion for radar system replacements, and $500 million for new safety technology designed to prevent near misses on airport runways. A significant portion of the bill also addresses federal benefit programs and immigration. The White House this week detailed new restrictions that will bar illegal immigrants from accessing more than 15 federal assistance programs, which collectively account for about $40 billion in public spending. According to the administration, these programs include Head Start, substance abuse prevention and treatment programs, family planning services, and health workforce scholarships. A White House spokesperson framed the move as a fulfillment of a campaign promise, stating that illegal immigrants will no longer be able to, quote, steal public benefits at the expense of hardworking American taxpayers. This policy aligns with changes made to Medicaid, the insurance program for low-income and disabled Americans. The new law requires able-bodied prime-age adult recipients without children to work or volunteer for approximately 20 hours a week to maintain their benefits. White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt said the measure protects Medicaid for those who truly need it, while ensuring able-bodied Americans who can work are doing so. She added that the new rules are expected to remove approximately 1.4 million illegal immigrants from the program, addressing what the administration calls waste, fraud, and abuse. Some policy experts have described the changes as common sense. Michael Cannon of the Cato Institute said it is, quote, perfectly reasonable for taxpayers who are paying into the Medicaid program to insist that everyone in the program who can contribute do so. On the economic front, the Treasury Department delivered some unexpected news, reporting a surprise budget surplus of $27 billion for the month of June. This was fueled by a record-high collection of tariff revenues. The surplus marks a sharp reversal from the $316 billion deficit recorded in May. and it stands in stark contrast to the $71 billion deficit from June of last year. The influx of tariff money has helped narrow the fiscal year-to-date deficit to $134 trillion, which is a slight 1% improvement from the same period in 2024. While the federal deficit remains persistently high, the June numbers suggest that President Trump's tariff policies are becoming an increasingly significant source of government revenue, offering a rare fiscal bright spot. This development is being closely watched by economists as a key indicator of the administration's trade and economic strategies' impact on the nation's finances. While the administration highlights its domestic agenda, its foreign policy is facing new scrutiny on Capitol Hill, particularly concerning its approach to Ukraine. The Senate is now moving to rein in what some lawmakers see as a fluctuating and unpredictable policy. New provisions have been added to the annual National Defense Authorization Act, or NDAA, aimed at creating guardrails around the administration's actions. One provision would prevent the Secretary of Defense from unilaterally halting military intelligence, sharing, and targeting cooperation with Ukraine. This move follows a March incident where the administration abruptly paused both intelligence support and weapons shipments during back-channel diplomacy with Russian President Vladimir Putin. Though the aid was later restored, the episode alarmed lawmakers on both sides of the aisle. The new bill also reaffirms U.S. policy to assist Ukraine and boosts the Ukraine Security Assistance Initiative to $500 million. The legislative action comes amid a confusing series of events. Just recently, the Pentagon again paused delivery of some defensive aid to Kyiv, citing a need to review U.S. stockpiles. However, President Trump soon contradicted that move, stating the U.S. would indeed send more weapons because, quote, they have to be able to defend themselves. When pressed by reporters on who had authorized the pause, the president appeared unsure. The situation has been accompanied by a notable shift in President Trump's rhetoric. After speaking with the Russian president last week, he told reporters, quote, "We get a lot of bulls thrown at us by Putin." This is a much sharper tone than he has used previously. Administration officials, including Secretary of State Marco Rubio, have sought to downplay the aid pause as a limited, logical review. Still, the Senate's actions indicate a desire in Congress for a more stable and predictable American policy toward Ukraine.